there, Jeff. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Yep. It's a little late, but there are some people that are awake right now, so why not, right?
That's all right.
Yep.
Time is just
So,
a perception of whatever you think it is, just like age,
yeah, absolutely.
So,
Um, so I guess tonight is going to be a medical interview. And so you were stating that you have abdominal aneurysm, is that correct?
the AAA. So
Okay.
it usually kills a lot of people. Um, I never saw it coming.
Right.
It was 2 years ago, and I was probably 20 pounds lighter, the best shape of my life. And I heard a boom in my head. And I
Oh,
had been
wow.
medical for 10 years previous to that. I worked in the ER for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I knew something was wrong.
Right.
And
What were your symptoms? What were you feeling?
zero symptoms. That's the thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Zero. I was super healthy. Wasn't drinking, no smoking, eating healthy, exercising, everything. So, like I said, I was 20 pounds lighter, the best shape of my life, doing all the right things.
Yeah.
And I heard it in my head. They call it like the death clap. It's called the
Wow.
death clap. It's a sonic boom inside your head. And I heard it, and I was standing at my work, and I was like, oh my God, something's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did the doctor say when you went? I mean,
So when that happened, I was like, someone call 911. Like, just call.
right.
And no, we want to call the emergency response team here at this plant. We need to get you assessed, all those kind of things. I was like, no, call 911 and then do all those other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They refused to. So I stayed at my work for over 30 minutes without them ever calling 911.
Wow.
They asked me, hey, what did you eat? You're just trying to get out of work tomorrow, all these kind of things. I was like, guys, I'm more medical than all of you put together. I'm telling you now to call 911.
Right. You
And they
just
still
knew.
did
Yeah.
minutes and minutes and minutes and conversation and conversation and conversation and went on and went on and went on. And finally, I had to threaten for me, myself, to call 911 on my own phone. And they were like, no, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll do it. Now, they had transported me from upstairs to downstairs at this time. And they're making jokes now like that I want to get out of work for the next week or two and I want to do this and that. And I was like, guys, I'm dying. I need someone to call 911. Because I could feel myself breathing different.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was getting kind of like blurry. It was weird. And I know being in the medical field and being trained, I knew that something was wrong. And I finally had to threaten them to call myself before they called. So luckily, the ambulance was maybe 10 minutes away. So they came. They assessed me, and my blood pressure was like 60 over 40. It was bad. Like I was dying.
Yeah.
So they pumped me full of fluids. Like, oh, you're good. But no, not really. That's a false blood pressure, right?
Yeah.
So they finally transported me to Effingham County Hospital. And I was sitting there. I was bleeding out on the inside. And the doctor there said, hey, we're going to just let you sit here for a little while and see how you do, see what's happening, and then we'll go from there. Well, a nurse was like, hey, nah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Let's go to scans right now. And so she overruled the doctor, took me to scans, and they saw my heart had split open. Like, oh my God, we got to fly you out right now. They said, who do you need to call? Because you may not make it.
Wow.
What? They said, no, yeah, you may die in flight. So I called my wife, my fiance at the time, I was like, hey, meet me in Savannah because they're flying me out. She's like, don't joke. I said, no, I'm not joking, babe. Like I'm dying. Like, meet me in Savannah.
Right.
So she did. Like, we flew out. The longest flight of my life.
I bet.
Like, I could hear every rotation of the blades, and like we were in slow motion the whole time. And all I could think about was my life and like
Right.
who I loved, who I didn't love, who I said sorry to, who I didn't say sorry to, who just out of spite I did wrong, you know, like who. I mean, you think of everything. When you're gonna die, you think of every single thing. And
Yeah, absolutely.
like it's not a good
And I'm so glad you said that because people don't realize that. And when you have that near-death experience, it does. It comes, you know, I've been through it, and it does. It just rushes at you like all these thoughts come, and you just don't know what to do with them because you're moments away from not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You can't go back.
So scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so scary. And
How
it's
long ago did this happen?
2 years ago.
Okay.
2020. So it's taken me 2 years to get back to half-ass normal. Like, I look normal, but on the inside I'm all screwed up. So I can't really do physical work. I can't lift more than 40 pounds because the aneurysm, the AAA, goes from your heart to your abdomen. So my heart exploded, and the aneurysm ran down into my stomach, and the artery in your stomach, like mine's like yours, puts like this, mine's like this. So if I strain too much, if I lift too much, if I do whatever too much, it's going to rip open, and I will. So I have a limit on what I can do, what I can't do. And that part sucks because like looking at me from the, you know, it's like, oh, you're good. You're good. Not really.
But you're not.
Not really. So, but yeah, the flight was surreal. Like it was because I worked at that same hospital for a long time.
Yeah.
And when I landed, the flight nurse knew me from working in the ER. She's like, "What are you doing here?" So I'm dying. And she's like, "Just shut up. We'll take care of you." So we flew out, and then I landed. Everybody that I worked with was like, "Take me in to the ER." They're like, "Oh my God, this is our guy. Like we know this guy. Like what's going on?" And all I could think about was like, I'll never see my family again, you know? So they got me into a room, and the surgeon came in. He was like, it ain't good. He's like, who do we need to call? That's 2 years. Like, how do you even process that?
Absolutely.
Who do we need to call? Because you may not make it now, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And on top of that, when they told me that, he was like, and so just so you know, all our surgeons are busy. Like there's no one that can operate on you right now. You're gonna have to wait.
Wow.
So my wife now called my son, called some people and was like, hey, your dad may not make it. And my son was in the Army at the time. So she called the Army and she's like, hey, his dad is dying. So can he come home?
Wow. Wow. So put a really big perspective on things.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If you have never almost died before and you gotta notify your kids.
Yeah.
And your mom.
How old are your kids?
My oldest kid is 22 now, and my middle son is 16 now. But they were 20 and 14, and so
Even that phone call that your wife got, I mean, she wasn't even expecting that.
it's such a hard thing to think about.
How long you guys been married?
Well, we've been married 2 years. We've been together for a while.
Wow.
But she saved me in more ways than one. But when I got there and I was waiting in that waiting room, and like they got me in my room and they like called everybody, and every single second I could just die. I'd bleed out and die, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Did they say what caused that?
no,
I don't
no,
They don't. You
no,
just don't know, right?
they never said. In my family, my grandpa died at 52 from heart disease. Like, it's in our family, but I did
Right.
everything right. I didn't smoke. I didn't drink. I exercised. Like, I did everything right for a lot of years, and it still got me out the blue. So I tried to get away from it, but I couldn't, you know. But
Here's an interesting question, though. As far as turmoil wise, was there anything eating you up inside that might have caused this to happen?
like stress or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I lived with stress all my life, but like I was the only one back in the day when I graduated high school. I left. I never asked for help. I was poor. I was homeless. When I say homeless, like I was really homeless. I was really poor. To the point to where I worked at a grocery store one time, and now I'm gonna tell everybody that no one knows this. My manager knew I was that poor.
Yeah.
He said, "Jeff, I'm gonna give you these groceries, and just don't tell anyone. Just go home, just eat, and you know you'll be okay." Like, he knew. I don't know how he knew, but he knew I was like struggling.
Yeah.
I didn't have food. I didn't have any. It was bad for a long time. But I wasn't the type of person to ask for help, because my family couldn't give me help. Like, they were struggling on their own. So I just survived, and that was my nature, to survive.
Yeah.
And I came from zero to making a lot of money, doing the right thing, working hard from the bottom to the top, every business I was ever at. And
What
so,
do you do now?
well, now, today, I'm in real estate school, only because I can't do any more physical work, you know?
Right.
It took me 2 years to recover fully from my heart exploding and the way it did, you know? The first year was physical. The second year was mental, because, listen, I was depressed in a way, PTSD, depression. I went through all that for the whole past year. I was on medication. They put me on medication that made me want to kill myself.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just numb. I didn't feel shit. Like, I was to the point to where I really, like, my wife was like, you need to stop. So I'm a big Christmas guy. I love Christmas. Like, I start Christmas in October. You know, lights and all that. And this past year, when I was on this medication, I didn't give a shit. Like, I was just whatever. He said, "This is the first year I've ever known you that you didn't care at all about Christmas." And it sounds kind of minimal, but to me, it's a major thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't think about nothing, you don't care about nothing. This is bad. And I told her, even driving, I was like, "Babe, I don't feel anything.
Right.
I don't feel anything. I feel like I could just leave."
She just said Christmas vacation.
I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, right? So I was like, I could just leave, and I like look like the world, and no one would. She's like, "Stop taking your medicine right now."
Right.
Like, stop it. You know. And
what did they have you on? Do you remember?
No, I don't. So I was on 2 different ones. One of them made me feel kind of different, but the other one made me feel dead.
Yeah.
Really, like, I can see how people just don't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
It was awful. So I quit taking it. I started working out again. I started eating right again, and it brought my mental state back.
Well,
Because I could do it. I was like, you guys are So I feel really bad for folks that are on medication for PTSD and depression because
It's not helping.
I don't think it's really them.
Nope.
I don't.
I think it makes people worse.
It's a yeah, it does. I think good relationships, being active,
Mm-hmm.
having good friends around, having good conversation, going to the beach, like living life makes you feel better. Those medicines are awful. You
Yeah,
know,
I agree.
that's that big pharma thing. You know, they always get
It
paid.
is. And then what they do is, they tell you, all right, well, if this one's not working, let's try this one, and then
Yeah,
let's try this one and that one, and then it's, well,
yeah.
what do you do? I mean, can you imagine what's going on with your body just from trying all these different medications and then being on other medication, like you said?
Yeah, I have never felt so numb in my whole life. So numb in my whole life. And like when I said my wife called it out, she's like, "Your Christmas is your jam. Like you put up trees. We had 6 Christmas trees." And she's
Oh,
like,
wow.
"Yeah, she's like, you didn't put up the first one. You don't give a shit about you like you don't care. Something's wrong." And then at that point I was like, you know what? You're right. Because I don't give a shit about anything. You, me, my kids, nothing.
Wow.
And so I stopped taking it, you know, and I just started doing alternative things, working out, eating better, trying to get outlets to the birds sing, be appreciative for life, going back to who I used to be, um, you know, those kind of things.
Right.
And that brought me around. So, you know,
If you
I
don't
just,
mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 47.
47. Yeah, it's young. Still young.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Hey,
Um,
I told somebody yesterday I was 37, and they said, "Huh?" I said, "Damn, I wish I was 37."
I wish, yeah.
It was that wishful thinking.
But in retrospect, I mean, it makes you realize how fast life goes, and and then something like this occurs, and it could, in a split second, it's gone, and it really puts a perspective on do the things that you love to do in life, and who cares what anybody else thinks, because this is it, And what is the prognosis now, as far as you
All
just
right.
have to kind of, I know it doesn't go away.
No, the prognosis now is the aneurysm ran down into my thoracic region, so I have that aneurysm there. So that's always going to be a constant, like, "Hey, fucker, you could die tomorrow."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But besides that, I'm on a ton of medication, 5 blood pressure medications, blood thinners, like whatever you can think about, I'm on it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have to do now is live my life.
Yeah.
I was scared to live it before because I don't want to cough too hard or have sex too hard or like I can like do anything too hard because I thought I was
Right.
gonna die, you know. Um, but it's taken 2 years, but I'm leveled out. My medication's good. I can get back to working out again. I can't do it like I used to. But
Right.
it's kind of like you're like, fuck, like you look good, but now it's like you're alive. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like you're trading the 6-pack abs for being alive. That's a
Living alone.
good trade. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I'm good. Like I'm on medication to keep all my stuff going how it should be. I feel good. Uh, it's taken 2 years to get back to that point,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's like game on. It's like I'm back. So it's a little bit like watch out, man, because the old me is back.
Right.
I was a fucking like I was money back in the day. Like I was all over it.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, people were like, "Oh my god, how did that even happen to you? You were in such good shape, and you were doing all the right things, and you weren't drinking, smoking, blah blah blah." And I was like, you know what? I thank God. Or so we call it the universe. God, universe, the whatever people call it, Buddha. People have different names for the same thing. Everybody has different names for the same energy, because God is energy, universe is energy, Buddha is energy. It's all energy. We are energy, if people really want to look into it.
It's true.
A lot of folks don't, because they're scared to really know the truth, but we're all made up of energy. So we believe in that kind of stuff. And so where we are now, man, the energy is good. It's like I can feel the vibrations. It's good. Like,
you know, and I believe everything that happens for a reason, and maybe, just maybe, it was a wake-up call. Maybe for you.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this. Absolutely. Because I've done a lot of bad things in my life. A lot. My last marriage, I was a bad husband. I was a great father, but a bad husband. And I won't go into all that. Our marriage was difficult. It wasn't the best in the world by any means, but I was an outstanding dad. And so when it comes down to that, hate me for being a bad husband. That's fine. But respect me for being a great dad. Now, with all that being said, I did a lot of bad things back then. I could justify them. I could say, well, she was this and she was that. I had choices to make. I made choices. But when I met my wife now, like, we knew, like, you're the one. You're the one. But I think that the energy, the God, the whatever people want to call it, had to hit me in a way to make me realize that this life is precious. I'm going to give you one more chance. And here it is. Yeah. So I think he hit me hard. And I think the universe was like, pump the brakes. Here we go. Boom. And they did it. And I survived it. And they're like, now, this is your brand new life.
What are you going to do with it?
What are you going to do? Right? The past life was great. I mean, the marriage was bad. But I can learn from that. We all can learn from that, right? And so when that happened, I was like, oh, man, he hit me hard. He pumped the brakes on me real hard. And, like, let me see the truth. Like, let me see the real of everything. And I do. I see it all. It's great. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. And I feel bad for people that are living like it's the Matrix, right? People that have never seen it are still eating a steak that tastes good, which is not really a steak. You know what I mean? It's just like telling you it's a steak that tastes good and you live your life and whatever. No, I'm out of that. I'm unplugged now.
Right.
Yeah. Now I know the real. Like, my wife, I cannot disrespect her. I can't. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to disrespect my kids or myself or anybody. I want to live a good life and a wholesome life and be good to my wife, my kids, and my friends, and be the kind of guy that. Here's the funny thing to me, right? Sorry, here's the funny thing to me. I'm the guy now that my wife has the code to my phone. Like, she has a thumbprint on my phone, and I just like give her my phone and walk away and do my thing, whatever. That's what all married men should aspire to. If you can't do that,
that's what it's all about.
If you can't do that, you are not really married. You're living a lie for whatever reason. It's not privacy. It's not. We have separate life. No, it ain't none of that, bro. Like, if you can't really, honest to God, give the person that you put a ring on her finger your phone and leave for 2 days, 5 days, 10 minutes, then you're living a lie. You gotta pump the brakes before this thing happens and get right. You know what I mean? Like, purge all that other bullshit and get right. And then what comes to you is good friends, you know, good people, good vibes, good energy, all that kind of stuff.
Letting go of that ego, correct?
So the ego, let me tell you. Let me tell you about the ego. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, when I was living my best life, I thought I was in great shape. I was in the best shape. My girl, I could see pictures at 45 years old. 6-pack, the whole thing was like banging. And my wife said, "Hey, babe, that's enough. Like, you're looking in the mirror a little bit too much." I was like, "No, I've never been this like in shape. Like, I'm proud of it." And she's like, "I get it, but you're kind of a little bit that guy, you know?" And I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." And then my heart exploded.
Yeah.
I wasn't on any kind of steroids or like enhancement drugs. None of that. It was pure chicken, sweet potatoes, green beans. Like, it was like a legit diet. And I realized that none of that shit really matters. Like,
Yeah. It's
you
true.
know, the ego had me. It
Yeah.
had me. And like I say, the thing pumped the brakes on me, and I was like, you know what? I would never, ever, ever in my whole life look at myself, anyone else again. And it was really on myself because I was always the fat kid. Like, I was always the chubby kid. And I finally got a moment of being not that. You know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
moment done.
So you felt good and you were like,
Yeah.
wow.
But you know what? I took it too far. I took
Yeah.
it too far. It's like winning $1 million, I think. Like, you take it too far. And I was like, oh, it's all me. Like, I look good. It's all about, I was self-involved.
Yes.
And I didn't care about anybody else. For the first time in my life, I was all about me.
Right.
And I wasn't giving like I've always done. And I learned a good lesson from that.
Yeah.
And so here I am today, a little bit overweight in my mind, you know what I mean? A little belly, this and that. But at the same time, I don't really give a shit. I'm still the
You're
same.
happy. You're
Yeah, I'm still the same
carefree.
person. I would much rather hang out with people that are chubby and happy than skinny dudes and chicks that are like I used to be, self-involved and worried about their image. Man, let's go eat some pizza and drink. You know what I mean? You know, that's what I want to do. I mean,
That's the way it should be. And
life.
there's nothing wrong with, working out and doing the things that you need to do for yourself, keeping healthy. But like you said, when you take it too far and you get so self-absorbed, and it's things like this happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, you lose sight of the real world.
What's important, priorities. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose sight of that shit because the ego, man, the ego, it's a nasty thing.
Yeah.
And I never had it before then, and I had it for like a year, and I see why it's so dangerous, you know. So, but I was lucky. Like, I got out alive, you know.
You did, and you will continue to live, and God's got you, and the universe has you, and
yeah.
I think it was just a lesson learned, and do great things like
And
you're doing.
you ain't kidding. It is fate. And anybody that ever sees this video, if you repost it or not,
Absolutely.
I just want to tell them that don't get lost. You
I
know,
think I lost you.
stay the course. Do not let your ego get the best of you. Love the energy, not the image. Does that make
Yes.
sense? Love the energy, not the image. If you do that, and if people can live by that, we'll all be much better off, you know?
I agree.
So,
And I think it's a big aspect of this whole thing too is people have this image of what other people think or
yeah,
how you should be or
yeah,
this person doesn't like that person or if I date her or him,
yeah.
what are people gonna think and why?
That's so,
Yeah.
that is the ultimate. That comes from like high school, the middle school. You care about your image and like you gotta be popular. And I was popular in high school. I was an athlete. I was all these kind of fucking things. And at 26, nobody cares. At 36, nobody cares. At 46, nobody really fucking cares. You just really at 22, at 20, nobody cares who you were in high school.
They don't.
But
And half of them
all
don't
about,
even remember you. I
yeah,
mean, unless you were,
right.
but we're
Nobody,
talking, 20, 30 years ago. I mean,
right. Nobody cares, man. All they care about, were you a good person? That's it. They don't
what did
care
you do
about
for others? How did you help the world? Were you good to your kids? Yeah.
Hey, at my high school reunion a couple years back, like, my ex-wife was super impressed. She was like, "Oh my God, you know everybody. Like they all know you, black, white.
Mm-hmm.
And our school is all black and white." She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "How? What? Like, I don't get it." I was like, "I was friends with everybody." Is that hard to like? I didn't had all kind of friends because I didn't see myself different. You know what I mean?
You didn't judge. You didn't, yeah.
No, not at all. So, and even now, it's like, I just hope that I hope that someone watches this thing and is like, you know what? I didn't go through that, but I'm kind of arrogant. I'm kind of self-absorbed. Like, let me pump the brakes a little bit and get back to what's real. Get back to what the energy, what feels good. And it's not always all. It's not about me. It's about them. You know. Um, I live a very selfless life now. You know, selfless, not selfish, but selfless. And if we could all do that, we'd all be better off.
Absolutely. I agree.
You know, because it all comes back to us in a roundabout way. Um,
Universe has a crazy way of working.
Talk to me. You ain't kidding. I love the universe. This house we're leasing, we're selling this house. We're making a bunch of money off of it. Thank God. I cleaned this house for like a month straight. Baseboards, ceiling fans. I can keeping it staged every single day for people to come look at it. We got 3 dogs and a 4-year-old.
Wow.
Like I was fucking. I was
Yeah.
out of my mind. Keeping it staged up every single day and clean and all this kind of stuff. And we got a great offer on it. We're going to make a lot of money. And this house we're going to lease over there down the road is right near my middle son's in the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
4-bedroom, big yard. Like he got his own bedroom, got a little refrigerator, doing the whole thing for him.
Awesome.
So we got over there and there's a bunch of problems with the house. I was like, oh my God. Like, and it just carried on and carried on and carried on. And me and my wife talked, was like, you know what? We can't do it. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
We'll find something different. I was like, but this is in the neighborhood. This is where he lives.
Right.
Like, it's sidewalks, golf carts, like the whole thing. Like, it's a nice neighborhood. I was like, but there's too many problems, you know? And she looked in the closet and she's like, babe, come look. She said, Daddy, come look. Like, this is a sign. I said, what? There was one hanger left in the closet that said Wilson's. That's our last. It said Wilson's. And she was like,
this is it.
This is it. We got to do it. I was like, damn right. Like, that's the universe talking to us. One hanger in the whole house, minus all the bullshit, said Wilson's. I was like, yep, universe talking. Let's do it. This is it. So we paid the money. You know what I mean?
Good.
So, but, all in all, man, lesson learned. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If shit goes wrong, power through it. Be thankful.
Yeah.
Be humble. Love everybody.
That's what it's about.
Let flow over your image,
Let the animosity go.
No, man, none of that matters, bro. My mother died a few months ago, and we had a hard life. Like she had me when she was 15, and she could have aborted me, but she took a year off of high school, went away because back then you can't be in the same town.
Right.
They had me, went back to school, graduated, and she at 15 years old, how do you have a kid at 15? And the place we live is crazy. They called her all kind of names, and they call me all kind of names, bastard, and all. Like, I put you this way: one day this lady walked by our front yard and called me a bastard. Like, hey, you bastard kid. My mama heard her at 15 years old, followed her to the bank, which is right maybe 4 blocks up, found a loose brick at the bank and beat her in the face with a brick.
Wow.
I went to jail for that. But she said, you'll never call my son a bastard again. You know? And so that's that Wilson blood that runs in all of us. Like, we love you until we don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's different, you know? But my mama died a couple months ago, and man, I tell you what, you know, I almost died in front of her, and she was like, you cannot die before me. Like, I cannot bury you, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm very sorry about your mom and things that, you know, you had to go through. And I'm really, really glad that you came on tonight and shared this with people, because this might help somebody else. Just hearing your story and what you've gone through. It might necessarily not be medical, but just the things we talked about tonight about perspective and health and just things in general of what's important and what's not, I think needed to be tonight.
I just want people to know that, like, no matter where you are, you can always get better. You know what I mean? Like, don't ever go down. Call me. If anybody sees this and you guys are having a hard time or depressed or whatever, message her, get my phone number. Guys, ladies, I swear to God, like, I'm here for you. I will talk to you. You will get through it. It's always hard, but it only takes one person to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Every time you call, I will pick up the phone and we'll talk, and you will be okay. So that's my message right there to everybody else, okay?
That's what life's about.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jeff, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I needed this interview.
We talked about this for a little bit.
We have, and I know you've been very busy, but I know you wanted to speak out to people, and I wanted to hear your story, and it's inspiring, very inspiring. And it's going to help somebody else.
Yeah.
And your wife, I commend her, because she went through it with you, and that's hard in itself too. I mean, because you guys are one, so if you're hurting, she's hurting, obviously.
She is my one, and
yeah.
I hope that everybody can find that one.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
All
Jeff,
right.
have a great night, and I really appreciate it. And keep me updated with anything new, the house, and
yeah, sure.
All right.
All right.
Everybody, Jeff Wilson, and everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching.
See you guys.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.